Good morning, everyone. I'd like to talk this morning a little bit about legacy and mentorship and how we carry that on and why it's important to us. And as we get a little older in life, we start thinking about our legacy. What are we leaving behind that's of any importance to anyone? And my own opinion after worrying about this and thinking about this and trying to act on it for quite a while now is that the only really legacy that really matters is the legacy that we pass on through others, not the things we've done, but the things that we pass on to others that allows them to continue doing the things that you felt like were important in your own life. So I've learned some valuable lessons on that. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've been trying to be a mentor for several years now, and I really, really enjoy finding young leaders and encouraging them and helping them advance, just like I was helped by mentors that I had in my 20s and 30s that helped me through life and helped me get started. And at first I thought, boy, I've just got to tell everybody what I know. I've just got to explain how everything works and what I've learned that works and what I've learned that doesn't work. And here's what you need to do. And here's what you need to think about. And here's how you need to develop. And that was really not working for me. It was kind of failing, to be honest about it. And so I had to kind of readjust, readapt. And I thought back about the mentors that I had, the great mentors, like most of them were oil and gas guys. My dad was one, Jack Graves in Tulsa was one, Ray Potts was one in Oklahoma City. Mac Wallace at the Texas Railroad Commission was a mentor of mine. And I've just had so many mentors in my life that encouraged me along the way. And the one thing they all had in common, after I stopped and thought about it in total, was that they never told me anything to do. They only just encouraged me. I cannot remember a single mentor. Maybe Elwood Kemp, my principal mentor, would once in a while give me an adjustment. Like he'd say, Mikey, you're such a partisan. You need to take a day and take the other person's position. And he said, when you're on to somebody or something, you don't get off of it and you're single-minded in your purpose on that, whatever it is. And he said, you need to learn to be a little bit more adaptable. And so I've adopted the line in the Tao Te Ching that says the sage sits on the pivot and watches yes and no chase each other in a circle. So I try to spend a great deal of time sitting on that pivot without making judgments or without condemning anyone. Just look at all sides of an issue and from the point of the pivot. And then I usually decide one way or the other on which way I need to go on something. But I've learned that all my mentors, with the exception of Elwood, only thing they really did was encourage me. And I'd ask questions and they would encourage me. They would say, you're on the right path, you're doing the right thing, just keep doing it. And they might give a few words of wisdom along the way. But so I really learned to me, the first principle in mentorship is to be an encourager. That's it. Be positive. Be an encourager. Find those people that are leaders that you think are someone that can pass on the things that you know and might be receptive. But instead of trying to teach them, listen to them. Listen to them first. Find out where they are and then encourage the things they're doing well. And you might give a few thoughts on adapting on different things, but only after you're in the position of encouragement. So that's the first lesson that I'd like to pass on about mentorship is the gift of encouragement. Learn to encourage. If you're a leader, if you've spent a lifetime thinking about leadership, as I have, I can remember from the very beginning, I was trained on phrases like lead, follow, get the hell out of the way. Or the view from the rear is not very pleasant, so you want to be out front. I've been encouraged my whole life to be a leader, and I've always aspired to leadership. But the best, highest form of leadership is getting others not only to follow, but turning other leaders into better leaders, and eventually replacing yourself to where you're no longer necessary. And so I've written a whole chapter on leadership in my book, Advance. It's chapter 7 that I think gives great examples. And I'll say more about that in the future. So wish you all a very happy day. And as always, let me know if I can do anything for you. Have a good day.